You got characters like Mystique, who's actually pretty underrated if you dig deep into her. She's a character known as Raven Darkholme, born with the ability to look and sound like anyone. The shapeshifting Mystique is a former pro-mutant terrorist wanted by nearly every government in the world for alleged crimes against humanity in exchange for protection for her countless enemies. Mystique reluctantly agrees to go work with Professor Charles Xavier, blah blah blah, different adventures throughout comics. She uses her shape-shifting for espionage, to be able to get the drop on people a lot. Stuff that you see in the movies to kind of infiltrate bases, which I can get into further later in the vid. She can technically seduce any man because she can turn into your deepest desires. Because she's technically always naked. The clothes she makes are just extensions of her own skin to make it look like she's not naked. For example, the only reason you don't see her actual cheeks right now is because this dress right here is actually her skin covering up her own cheeks and covering up her own nipples with her own skin. You know what I mean? So theoretically, you can kind of cut the dress and hurt her, technically, if you know what I mean. And she can transform to in the flip of a switch. Mystique is a threat. In this particular Shield Files handbook thingy, they have her at a power level of 8. Keep note, in this same book, they got her a bigger threat than Falcon. Have her at the same power level as Samson, which I don't think she's nowhere near his strength though, but you know, I'm just showing you what they said. They got her higher than Cyclops because she's a level 8 and he's a level 7. They got her above Black Widow, but lower than Wolverine. Similar level to Captain America. Similar level to Spider family members. Higher than Daredevil. So before I even go over her strength, she's already pretty much confirmed to be Super Soldier tier in this video. Mystique is one of those characters to where she is a shapeshifter, and thanks to her shapeshifting abilities, it gives her a plethora of abilities you wouldn't expect, like her having heightened senses, being able to hear better because of shapeshifting, and if you're sneaking up on her even while she's in the shower, she will even detect the intruder and blitz you. You ain't catching her off guard. I bet you didn't know that beings like Mystique that can shapeshift and stuff can use guns, and guns that can shoot across universes. Bet you didn't know that. The blue shapeshifting mutant type character known as Mystique that you probably saw in a lot of live action movies. She's very versatile with her powers, and it's very convenient if what she wants to blend into the environment or sneak in somewhere. But little do a lot of people know, she actually has enhanced strength, reflexes thanks to her mutant ability, not just shapeshifting. But how strong are we talking when it comes to the character known as Raven? She can shapeshift because she can shift her molecules of her body to look and sound like almost any humanoid creature wearing virtually any kind of clothing. She can also take on inhuman forms, blend it into her surroundings, render herself paper thin, and create specialized body parts like wings, claws, tails, grow extra arms, which I'm going to get to in this video. And you can get into her history right here. She's a shapeshifter and can change her hands and stuff theoretically into weapons, give herself extra limbs, but even then she has skills with other weapons and uses different weapons or equipment. Even in some comic issues where she has a pretty decently enhanced ship she can use at her disposal, if you know what I mean, for blasting, stuff like that. She was the leader of certain agencies, so she had like her resources if she needed. Jetpack, beings like Force gave her some spy equipment if needed. She's one of those characters where it's hard to have a standard gear set for her because she doesn't really need weapons, but she can hide the weapons on her if she needs to. And she can use pretty much any weapon if needed too. Using knives, different type of bullets like thermite bullets, the thing that you be seeing on her belts, a flare thing that explodes. Some of them that she wears around her waist are like smoke bombs too. These things you see right here are not just for show. It's low-key a utility belt. She's even used techno-organic viruses on beings before. Can sling a lot of small explosives at beings. Explosions this big. Yeah, on another occasion, got the drop on Iron Man, even messed up his armor with some gadgets. Used a neural inhibitor on Iceman to limit his powers. You gotta get the advantage on beings that are way powerful than her. She even said his ice form at full glory is too much for her, so she had to find a way to limit his power. Got stuff that can shoot you, stuff that negates mutant powers. She's had a powerful taser for a time. Her guns can blast beings like Rogue backwards. Nice old-fashioned handguns. Says bye-bye to a section of a wall. Gun that can shoot across the universes. First of all, her physicals are way more impressive than you think. She can casually knock folks out, mess up the necks of beings that are way bigger than her. She has leg strength that allows her to jump really high in the air, pulls up on a helicopter and rips the cables out of the helicopter to make it fall. Like, what kind of strength? Can twirl around men with one arm like they don't weigh at least 200 pounds. Even pinned Wolverine to the desk this one time. She can attack hard enough to break cybernetic legs with her kick. She can actually shapeshift into a Wendigo. Falling, caught herself with one arm, showing her arm strength. Along with holding herself with one arm, support Sabretooth weight. Can break a man's neck with a punch, pretending to be somebody else. Punching holes through walls of apartments and stuff. Catches Sabretooth stomping kick, somebody that's comparable or stronger than Wolverine, so she's not normal physical strength. Endure, get the heck out of my way. Although she's not limitless strength, obviously, her strength is still way past superhuman levels. She's hard to fight because of her shape-shifting ability and even grow extra limbs like how she did here. When she wanted to fight more efficiently, she can hold more weapons, make more than one head of herself, make extra appendages, and all kind of things to be more of an asset in combat and just sling them around like this. It doesn't seem like each arm makes her weaker. It seems like each arm is as strong as her base strength too. She can be in the middle of a fight, right? And during the fight, she can change form in the middle of the fight to confuse the opponent to keep them on their toes. Like here in this occasion, changing to Electra and crap, then growing extra arms and crap. Like she can hit you in ways that you would not telegraph because she can grow an arm out of her back, out of the blue to hit you like that. Like in this occasion, for example, like I showed earlier, her turning into a Wendigo, she turned into a gargoyle. One can say as big as she can turn is as strong as she actually is in her base because she says her strength doesn't change like her appearance. You're probably thinking, why don't Mystique just get real big and therefore she'll be just stronger than a lot of characters? Well, that's not how it works. When she gets bigger, she doesn't actually change weight and she does not actually get actual higher strength when she gets bigger. But one could say, since we know she's superhuman, one could say the biggest beings that she turns into, I guess one could say that can give us an idea of how strong her base superhuman strength is, right? I mean, it's already proven she can turn into abnormally large beings like a Wendigo or a gargoyle. So one could say, since we know her strength doesn't increase when she gets bigger, if she actually looked like how strong she is, she would look this big, one could say, because her strength doesn't increase. So this strength like this is her like this, it doesn't go up. That's just one way of looking at it, though. The only catch about her changing her size is that she can't actually change her weight even if she gets big. So one can say if she gets real big, it's just hollow and she still weighs a little bit. For example, her getting like this and then changing back, it's like she's still the same weight, short and stuff. So no matter if her sizes look this different, she's the same weight, Like fighting superhumans like Gambit, she can make tentacles to give herself long limbs to fight you from long range, even get the jump and kind of incapacitate Gambit to where he can't really move. She's done this tendril thing more than once to ensnare you. She can even do stuff like this while she's about to fly to entangle you that way. And she can make her hands into actual weapons. She doesn't really need swords and guns, technically. Or can even make her finger into a spear to spear you that way. She can even mimic Wolverine's claws, but of course they're not going to be as durable as the actual adamantium though, but she can still cut you with it. She's not normal strength because look at these big old metahumans she has to encounter. She just simply transforms into her own version of a monster and takes them on. I want to make it clear that actually maintaining a multi-limb form, she cannot do it for extended amounts of time, so it's not something she can spam, but it's still something that's pretty scary during a fight. Making it an elastic form is a strain as well, so it's like stamina is the real issue when she does these overpowered shapeshifting stuff. And yeah, just because she gets as big as somebody like the thing doesn't mean she actually gains the actual strength of the thing, It actually drains her, makes her weaker over time being super big. So I guess that's the real caveat. But one thing that's awesome is that she can move her organs to avoid fatal wounds with her shapeshifting ability. She even moved most of her brain down to her neck, so she probably can do this to other organs too if she gets shot. That's why she be getting shot and she can survive shifting all vital organs. But don't get it twisted, she's still taking the damage though. It might not hit vital organs though. And under extreme conditions, something she can't spam, she can turn into real durable stuff like liquidy almost, like on some Luffy stretchy type powers to make herself more durable, like rubber folks in Marvel and stuff. So to survive crazy explosions, this is not something she can always spam just so she can survive. Kinda implies she can only do it that one time, she can't do it again, still recovering from it. But one good thing is that her powers do keep her cellular structure young, enhance the immune system, makes her resistant to toxins and stuff of that such. Most characters with crazy willpower have resistance to telepathy. That does not mean she's immune though. She has a decent healing factor thanks to all that stuff I just said. Instinctively healing from the radiation. Thanks to shapeshifting, she can hide weapons on her body. Can shapeshift a pouch for it behind my stomach. Can make small objects like glass. She said glass is one of the few things she can synthesize, so she can create certain objects. She couldn't just create like a ship or something out of the blue, you know what I mean? Objects like glass, she can just like literally create on some matter manipulation type stuff, kinda, thanks to her shapeshifting. She can increase her hearing for thievery type stuff. If you got her in handcuffs, she can change the shape of her hands to slip through. She can use her wings to help her glide over a garbage truck, or straight up make wings to fly to save someone. And she can swim at nice speeds. Launch herself out of the air because she made herself into a mermaid. Her main thing that you see her in the movies do is shapeshifting. She's shapeshifted into a lot of different beings throughout the years, just like Nightcrawler turning blue, just like, turns into a little girl, then a security agent to throw you off and not know where they at. She can mimic stuff so good to where she can even fool a voice system to where perfect voice print, perfect fingerprints, just perfect mimicry. She can even fool characters like Sabretooth who have superhuman senses. If she can't spam her mutant ability, her fighting skills is pretty good too. She tossed Beast this one time, look at his hold. Takes out some shield agents with her fighting skill Even when ambushed, she can use her powers and skills to her advantage when needed to get the jump on them instead. Security guards, night to you, even using your own weapons against you. This many Hydra agents, get out of my way. You do not have the skill, strength, and speed to take on Mystique. Taking on multiple metahumans is her specialty, shape-shifting to give herself advantages, increasing her arms mad during the process, and etc. Even though all these beings have her at gunpoint, y'all just get completely blitzed and overwhelmed. And this is duplicate robots of the X-Men coming up to her, and she has to fight them panel for panel. This Wolverine robot duplicate showing her ability to fight all of this, using her skills to do what she has to do. She even made herself look like Sabretooth to fight Being this one time to show how advantageous she can use her shapeshifting with her skills and strength and stuff. But yeah, I told you it was stamina. It's effort to take this form. Can't just spam it all day. And then if we're talking about her fighting speed, that is enhanced for her too. This is a standard super soldier thing, evading bullets from close range, no matter. Even if it's a missile, she avoids it. You see how the gun is on and she blitzes him before he even has a chance to shoot and takes him down. She's pretending to be somebody else, of course. Dodges firearms here with fighting speed. Even when characters like Gambit, during her fight with him, she can avoid his attacks with her fighting speed. A spray of bullets, none of these can actually hit her. Bullets right here, all the way, I'll see all these bullets over here. None of them hit her. Multiple shooters can't even hit her brother's speed. Even Spider-type characters like Spider-Woman have issues hitting her with her blast. Okay, y'all might just need to get fired at this point, or is she just really that fast? You tell me none of these people can hit her? Bro, are you serious? Not one? Her fighting speed is so insane, even mutant characters like Psylocke even compliment her speed, saying she moves quicker than she ever has. Decades of experience never dulled by age. Her shape-changing physiology makes her agile, strong, blah, blah, blah. I mean, yeah, it makes sense that these unsuspected S.H.I.E.L.D. agents would get blitzed. More weapon fire she avoids. I know this is a feat run for her, but yeah, don't get it twisted. She can lose to characters like Wolverine and Sabretooth, but losing to these beings is not embarrassing, considering the tier these beings are in and how strong they are. So yeah, I mean, just for the fact that she survives Nightcrawler's quick jumps, a lot of times they knock other people out when Nightcrawler teleports with folk, but Mystique can withstand it. Even takes a being from being like Forge, gets hurt and damaged, takes damage, and can keep on fighting, to show that she can put in work and hang with beings that have powers consecutively, beings that have energy projection. Mystique should not be disrespected. I mean, she's battled super strong mutants that are a lot bigger than her in size. Even being slammed through the wall, she still put in that work, hit them with a toilet. Strong enough to do this to the toilet. Superhuman opponents, it's just her bread and butter at this point. It's just something she can always withstand attacks against. I mean, she can get losses to characters like Wolverine, but yeah, via prep time, she got the jump on Wolverine before. They've had a long panel for panel type of fight, and she can kind of hold her ground, but yeah, she can't heal as fast as Wolverine, and if she gets stabbed, she can move her vital spots if she just completely has to. Stuff like that is what keeps her in the fight, or keeps her in the game against characters like Wolverine, Sabretooth, even being stabbed like that. You guys get the picture, you know, not gonna lie, kind of a stalemate. And this is how their fights looks when there's no prep time or nothing, just a straight fist-to-fist model type of fight. Same with her slugfest with Nightcrawler. I showed a little bit of this, but yeah, she did a decent job. She got complimented by Psylocke. These two fighting, sword combat, Mystique hanging in there with Psylocke, and swordsmanship, and a being that can kind of tell what you're going to do because she can read your mind. Mystique still doing that work, shapeshifting via the fight, keep her on her toes, shapeshifting into a giant fish-like creature. Yeah, it just gets scary on what she can do during the heat of combat. In Marvel Comics, I would say she would fit in well with super soldier-ish type characters like Black Widow. I would even say she probably has the physical strength advantage. But when it comes to characters like The Thing, she's below. She might be slightly above Hawkeye in strength physically, but Hawkeye can still give her issues. Super soldier tiers like this, but she's sufficiently weakening characters like Spider-Man. Nothing compared to characters like Thor and top-tier Iron Man suits like this. Maybe lower-tier suits she can give issues. And I would say she's weaker than characters like Beast. So yeah, she's strong, super soldier-esque, but not necessarily the Beast level. Maybe closer to a super soldier strength level, like around that range, but not on the Spider-Man range, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? But don't get it twisted. She would be a very big issue for super soldiers because she has stuff they can't do, like making multiple arms of herself, making multiple heads of herself in the middle of combat. Stuff like that, giving herself tendrils to stretch very far to fight you from long range, stuff like that. But what do you guys think? Do you respect Mystique? Do you think she's creative enough with her abilities? Or do you think she should and could use her abilities in more creative ways she doesn't really do in comics? If I was her, I don't know if it's possible, but I would actually try to train her mutant abilities to where she can do more stuff like making 6 arms for longer periods of time, to try to strain it to see what her limits are, or she just can't do it no matter what. It depends, like, could she train herself to actually make it to where she can make herself have 3 heads or 5 eyes, or increase her vision from behind her head and stuff, and put an eye on her neck? You know, make a limb come out of her neck in the mid fight. Could she train herself to be able to spam that type of stuff more? That's what I would try to do if I had her abilities. But what do you guys think? But before I get going, I gotta give a shout out to those that have took time to donate to the channel. It helps out a lot. Respect Mystique. I'm glad you are enjoying your time on the channel. Make sure you check out the playlist on the channel to see other How Strong videos. If you like what this channel is offering, make sure you hit that subscribe button, and I will see you guys later.